Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Ever feel judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? Is this your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
This is On the Block. I'm Austin Norman, joined by Erick Strickland. Really quick first segment here, just another 20 seconds or so. What to get to on the show. Bill Self ejected. Jazz Shelley, first Husker ever to be named AP Player of the Week. We'll get to key Super Bowl free agents and plenty more here throughout the 2 hours of our show. 402-464-5685, the numbers if you have any thoughts to add. We'll be back here with Strick in just a minute.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear that new Honda manufacturing continues to go up, and you have new Hondas in stock now.
That's correct, Charlie. We have more than 40 new Hondas in stock right now. It's great that a customer can come in and buy a new Honda and drive it home that day. New Honda inventory keeps getting better each month.
Okay, then. How about used cars, Andy?
We have more than 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from right now, and a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in daily. We have just about every maker model you can imagine in any price range.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we have some really big savings for you right now. Our new crossover sale is underway. New Terrains, Equinoxes, and Trailblazers starting at $23,290. That's right, $23,290. Also, we've continued our huge Sierra and Silverado truck sale with over $10,000 off new pickups. You heard right, over $10,000 off list. Koppel truly has a small town feel with big city deals. We're right down 144th Street or at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G260980 and C119824.
Think you need a new furnace due to a cracked heat exchanger? Call Bryant for a free second opinion. Might save you thousands, no matter what brand. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. We do whatever it takes.
Golfing in 72 degrees in perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you, presented by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. They are open tomorrow at 29th and Pine Lake. Make sure you get down there and check them out. A couple things to get to here in this segment. First of all, Strick, we heard the news. Jordy Ball officially out for the season with a torn ACL.
Wow.
Big loss for not just Husker softball, right? But the athletic department, right? That was supposed to be one of the shining jewels of spring athletics season. So we wish all the best to Jordy Ball and her recovery from an ACL injury this spring.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. You hate that for the softball team. They had great high expectations for obviously her coming and her return. I think one good thing to look at is she'll definitely get some form of a medical red shirt, which would give her 2 more years, which would give you an opportunity to look at the talent, assess the talent that you have. What are you going to need? Bolster up some of those positions, maybe the weakest areas, so that when she does return, you definitely have individuals that have been through the gauntlet, the challenge, the struggles, the hardships, and a little bit more hardened in their opportunities when they return.
The other Nebraska news to get to here really quick is Jazz Shelley. She became the first ever AP National College Women's Basketball Player of the Week from Nebraska. That was just announced today. Certainly well-deserved for Jazz Shelley. Hit the dagger against Iowa to give Nebraska its first lead of the game. 7-14, shooting 5 of 10 from 3, perfect on her 4 free throws, added 3 rebounds and 5 assists and a steal in that. You think of all the great players, Strick, that have come through Nebraska women's basketball, all the great wins that program had, especially in the late 2000s, early 2010s. For them not to have an AP National Player of the Week until now is kind of surprising. But given what Jazz Shelley did in that moment for that team, certainly well-deserved for her.
No doubt about it. Shout out to them. Again, just a wonderful big win for them, for the program, and also for Jazz Shelley. And to get that type of recognition, shout out to her.
The college basketball news of the day comes to us from Lubbock, right? It's not relating to Texas Tech, not about the Red Raiders. It's Bill Self. Strick, you know, when you go down to Fog Allen, you're going to get a bad whistle, right? It's at Kansas, one of the best places to play a college basketball game that you can speak to, one of the best places I've ever watched a college basketball game. But you think about Kansas, you know, getting a friendly whistle, and Fog Allen comes back to beat teams more so than Kansas comes back to beat teams. I didn't realize, Strick, Bill Self in his 21 years as Kansas head coach had never been ejected. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like everyone gets run at some point. Let's not pretend like Bill Self is some quiet, timid guy.
No,
Bill Self is pacing the sideline. He's stomping. He's yelling. And for him to not be ejected in 21 years until last night, that seems questionable to me.
Well, of course. I mean, listen, when you're one thing is this, there's certain referees, for example, when Bobby Knight was around, right? There are certain referees in the Big Ten that just would understand that he would go so far. If he goes too far as to throwing chairs on the floor, obviously they're going to have to toss. But they give a lot of leeway to their frustration, to their anger. Now, obviously the Big 12 is one of the best conferences in the country. Kansas consistently has been one of the top programs out of the Big 12. And if you want to continue to ref big games, top games, big money games, play, you know, or to, you know, I think there comes a time where they can ask for certain, because like say for instance in a tournament or something, they may have 2 ACC refs and a Big 12 ref, or you know, so forth and so on. Or sometimes they'll just have different crews from different places. But if you are that person and then there's a list of people, you want to be the one that's called on. And so sometimes you'll give deference to certain coaches because you want to, and this is what's sad, this is what's bad. You don't want to get on there, but that's not the way you should referee games. You don't want to referee games to the point that you don't want to get on their bad sides and potentially miss games or so forth and so on. So could that be the case? I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say that can happen. Those things do happen. And this could be why, you know, no one wants to tee up and give a little bit more leeway to someone like Bill Self.
I'm not as big in the ooh, right? Like I'm sure there's some out there, but 21 years without an ejection. Like either that's an incredible coincidence or reffing is in a worse place than I thought, right? Yeah, Kansas has been really successful. This was one of their worst road losses of all time, right? At Kansas State. They let a guy go perfect, score 30 points on 12 of 12 shooting. But this is really an insignificant game for Kansas, right? Texas Tech's an NCAA tournament team right now, a little bit ahead of Nebraska in most of the projections. But Kansas has had more contentious games against Kansas State, against Iowa State, against Baylor, where Bill Self has been more fired up on the road as well to not get run. NCAA tournament, okay, you're not going to run a coach in the NCAA tournament unless it's like super drastic. I get that. But 21 years and no ejections, like Bill Self's a good coach, but he's not so good to not have gotten run at some point in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, that's pretty tough, especially like you said, to have had, I'm sure, many contentious games to where you're fighting for your team. And again, there are times when I know there's got to have been times when you're fighting for your team because it looked like it was going bad from the onset, or the calls were going bad, that you want to get. There's times when you really just want to get. It's very rare that a coach for that period of time to not get a technical. So, I mean, an ejection.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty tough.
Let's keep the college basketball conversation going. If you've got any thoughts, let us know. 402-464-5685. As we look at bracket projections, Strick, for Nebraska basketball, still in the field pretty much everywhere. But over the last week, really, we've seen Nebraska slide down a little bit, right? Nebraska was as high as a 9 some places in the 8-9 matchup. Should they win it, they would then most likely be matched up with the 1 seed. We've seen a lot of Nebraska on the 10 line and some in the 11, but Strick, 3 or 4 different projections I saw today said Nebraska is either in the last 4 buys, so the last 4 teams that wouldn't make the first 4 in Dayton, or they're playing in the first 4 in Dayton, which is an uncomfortable spot to be. Especially,
break that down. The last 4 buys. Say that again.
The last 4 buys would mean they get just a regular game on Thursday or Friday,
right?
But the last 4 in would have to go play in the first 4,
like Indiana did last.
Yes. Indiana St. Mary's, I think, was that game, right? So Nebraska's in that conversation. And I've been saying, and I think you've agreed, that Nebraska is going to be in that kind of bubble conversation the rest of the year. But where I don't like Nebraska sliding back that spot or 2 this early in February, and this close to March, is that Nebraska doesn't have many resume building opportunities left, right? You beat Michigan, you took care of business at home, great. That wasn't going to move the needle either way. But Nebraska's really got to root against like a Wake Forest last night, who lost at Duke. That's like one of their last really big quad 1 opportunities to make a splash. That was big for Nebraska. Wake Forest is in that same conversation. But this is where I think some Husker fans are starting to get some PTSD from 2018-19 involved, or 17-18, Tim Miles last year, where Nebraska might have a good Big Ten record when it's all said and done, but they didn't have marquee opportunities late. And if you don't go beat someone that people recognize in the Big Ten tournament, you're going to be sweating more than you should for a team that looks like it's going to end up winning 20 games.
Yeah, and rightfully so, because that's a lesson. Like I understand it. I mean, if you come up short, there's understanding why. But at the end of the day, then when the questions are asked, then the only answer can come from you personally or internally as a staff and as a team, because you had opportunities to bank games. You know what happened to you in Minnesota, what happened to you. Those type of breakdowns can teach you lessons as to why and how it's important to why you have to play a full game, why you can't just come in and play a certain amount, why you have to take care of the ball, why you have to be physical. There's a lot of those answers, and you can look in each specific game and ask the question of why you came up short on this one, why you came up short on that one, why you didn't make it there, and it's you. So then next year, address it, correct it. You know what I mean? So I think that's what can come from it if it doesn't pan out. Now, what does this mean? You've got to go on the road then and win 2 or 3. You've got to move up into that top 4 in the conference. So that means you're gonna have to go out and get a minimum of 2 of these road games. That means you've got chances with Indiana, you got chances with Michigan, you got chances with Ohio State. You've got 2 out of 3 chances right there to do that. Then you've got some home opportunities. You can't suck it up and lose to a Rutgers, even though they're playing better. You can't go on the road. At home, and you're going to have one more shot. I think against a pretty good team. Who else is left for them at home?
At home, it's Penn State.
Got to have it.
Rutgers, Minnesota.
Got to have it, and then you got to take care of Minnesota. That's probably your next opportunity to get at least a quad 2. I think Minnesota's going to end up giving you a quad 2. There you go. That should give you enough there. 2 wins on the road out of the 3 in this final set should get, and then go win 1 in the freaking tournament.
Yes.
That would, I think, solidify you.
So Tommy, to that point there, asks, so would it be better to finish 6th or 7th in the Big Ten and get an extra game for the resume, or get the 4 seed but lose right away? Neither, right? You take care of business in the regular season, and you yesterday, Strick, went over their remaining schedules. Who has it tough? Who has it easier? I recommend people go back and look at that on our podcast, right? Wherever it is you get your podcast, just search for On the Block with Strick and Austin. And there's a segment in there where you went into the teams that have it tougher, the teams that have it easier. Nebraska's on the easier end of remaining schedules for Big Ten teams. Right now, the Huskers are sitting in 6th place in the conference, maybe 7th, depending on how the Big Ten would do the tiebreakers. Minnesota has 2 more games to play than Nebraska in this last stretch. So if you're Nebraska with 6 games left, winning 10 is the bare minimum, 10-10, but that leaves probably a couple bad losses out there. 11 would be okay. 12 would be, I think you did pretty much everything asked. If you go 5-1 over these last 6 games, and that gets you in that 4 or 5 conversation. If you're the 4 seed and you get the double bye, you are playing either the winner of the 12-13 game, who would then have beat the 5 seed, or the 5 seed. So that's someone comparable to you that you've probably played before, whether that's Minnesota, again, whether it's Michigan State, if it's Iowa getting hot, if it's Wisconsin fading. It's going to be a team like that we know Nebraska can match up against. Flip side of that, if you're the 7 seed, you're playing the 10 seed straight out, right? You're the bottom game getting set for a matchup with the 2 seed. Okay, that's going to be a tough one to win. So beating the 10 seed doesn't give you much. And it's going to be a tough task to beat the 2 seed. But if you're the 6, you have to play a game against the 11 or the 14, who, Strick, we've seen make runs that get that extra day to play, that can win their second game quite a bit. We saw Nebraska do that in Tim Miles last year. And then you get a matchup with the 3 seed, which would probably be Wisconsin or Northwestern at that point. So getting the double bye, I think, would be nice. I think it's a little bit of a pipe dream right now for Nebraska. So I think if you can settle into that number 6 spot, where you can get a game under your belt against a team you've already beat this year, and then play someone you match up better with in probably Wisconsin or Northwestern, as opposed to Illinois or Purdue, I think that's going to be Nebraska's best shot to add a quality win to the resume.
Great point. There's nothing really to add to that. That's well stated, well said. I really think that matchups are good for you at the end of the day. I will say that. I think that's an important thing to look at, but I'm not gonna probably put myself in a position to try to place myself for a matchup that doesn't always work out for you. So just go play the games, win the games, get confident, get on a roll, and make yourself in a position to where no one wants to play you, and be tough.
You mentioned too, it's on Nebraska earlier in the segment. Nebraska's not good enough to where it can afford to try to pick and choose the matchup. No. You're just not good enough.
No.
Play who's in front of you.
Yep.
Play well. Go beat them.
That's
really what it comes down to. Today's Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Fat Tuesday. We got the shootout with Strick. Famous Martys. Famous Martins. That's what we're playing. Call now, 402-464-5685. Take on Strick in the shootout. We'll do that when we get back.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through February 13th is spend $40 and get stew beef for free. Plus, 15% off all alcohol and chocolates as you prepare for Valentine's Day. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Mosaic is a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that embraces God's call and relentlessly pursues opportunities that empower people with diverse needs to live their best lives. Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska, serving Lincoln and Beatrice, would like to invite you to their monthly Discover the Possibilities tour events. Events are held on the third Wednesday of every month and are a great way to understand Mosaic's mission. To RSVP, please contact Melindy at 402-429-0088 or visit mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
Ever feel judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? This is your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
Erick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. They encourage those who go out to make smart decisions behind the wheel or plan accordingly to have someone lined up for a safe ride home. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Erick Services, your vending specialist here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Erick Services, on the air because they care.
Hello? Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Erick Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
I'm still waiting for the day we have an actual basketball hoop here in the studio and we can actually do a real shootout with Strick. Because I know Stricky still got it.
I can still shoot a bit.
I know. I just want to see it. I just want to hoop in here, too. That'd be a great way to pass time.
That would be dope.
So,
but where would we put it?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a logistics guy. I'm just the ideas guy.
Do we?
We got room in
There's
here,
not
right?
enough. There's probably not enough for some arch. You'd probably have to shoot flat.
Yeah. What if we just had like a Nerf hoop on the door behind us?
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah.
Or hang one like right by the ticket logo by
There
the TV,
you go. You
something
gotta
like
hit
that.
if you're, gonna get out early.
Or I think this glass is strong enough. Could we put one like out
On the outside?
on the overhang?
If they
You're shooting
didn't
a lot
have
of corner jumpers.
If they didn't have, you're corner jumper in like a mug, and then you're risking a rebound into the street.
We'll put up a plexiglass wall on the other side of the street.
You need something out there. Yeah.
We'll make it work. This is the Shootout with Strick, brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings. Thanks again to Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O for hosting us for our Super Bowl party. We go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We welcome in Dave. Dave, how are you today, sir?
I'm okay.
Good deal. We'll give Strick his questions first, then we'll get to you about famous Martys and Martins on Mardi Gras. Stricky, you ready for it?
All righty.
Okay, your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He's won 3 Emmys. Martin Scorsese or Martin Ritt?
Scorsese.
It is Scorsese. He plays Charles in Only Murders in the Building. Martin Short or Steve Martin?
Steve Martin.
It is Steve Martin. He led Nebraska football in sacks in 2012. Josh Martin or Eric Martin?
Josh.
It's Eric. And he sang the hit song Everybody Loves Somebody in 1964.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Everybody Loves Somebody, 1964.
Martin Sheen.
1.
Martin Sheen, the guess. The answer, Dean Martin.
Dang it!
Dean Martin, the answer. Not bad,
Well.
Stricky. You got 2.
Okay.
Okay, Dave, 2 to tie, 3 to win. You ready for your round?
Yeah, I wasn't quite expecting this. I thought maybe a Super Bowl trivia, but we'll see what happens.
It's Mardi Gras. You had to go with Martins and Martys. We try to keep it topical here. But Dave, your round starts in 3, 2, and 1. He's known for the Bad Boys trilogy. Martin Lawrence or Martin Freeman?
Lawrence.
It is Lawrence. He's the author of Game of Thrones. George Martin or James Martin?
James Martin.
It's George. He played 15 seasons in the NBA. Kenyon Martin or Kelvin Martin?
The first one.
It is Kenyon. And he played Jerry Seinfeld's dad on the sitcom Seinfeld.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Well, I can picture him, but I don't remember his name.
2, 1.
George Costanza.
The answer is Barney Martin. Played Mort, who was Jerry Seinfeld's dad. All right, we go to the tiebreaker. So Strick will get the question first. Dave, the opportunity then to go over or under Strick's answer. All right, Strick, here's the question. Mentioned Eric Martin leading Nebraska in sacks in 2012. How many sacks did Eric Martin record in 2012? How many sacks did Husker football's Eric Martin record in 2012?
7.
Okay, Stricky's guess is 7. Dave, over under 7 sacks for Eric Martin in 2012.
I'll try under.
Stricky gets it done. He survives. The champ is in the building. The answer, 8.5. So just over. Dave, a valiant effort. Thanks for playing on a Fat Tuesday. Stricky's the champ.
Yay!
Way to go, Stricky.
Sneak it out.
Way to go.
Threw a good number out there.
You sure did.
Ooh, 8.5.
8.5, Stricky.
Ooh, way to go, Strick. Way to get it done, baby. Yo, Tuesday. Taco Tuesday.
Really good year for Eric Martin in 2012, I should point out. 59 tackles for the linebacker. 8.5 of them were sacks, 16.5 tackles for loss.
Yeah, that's a great.
Pretty incredible year.
It's a great run.
We have the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings to give away. We'll come up with a trivia question related to a Martin somehow. Come back for that here at the top of the hour. He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block. We'll be back in a minute.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through February 13th is spend $40 and get stew beef for free. Plus, 15% off all alcohol and chocolates as you prepare for Valentine's Day. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
I could write a commercial telling you how great waffle weekends are at the chocolate season. Or I could just have Rico read you the menu.
Banana Nutella. Nutella-topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator. Buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the chocolate season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney or online at thechocolateseason.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly cloudy skies this morning, becoming mainly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see a high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 30. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return. More mild weather, too. We'll see a high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Erick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. They encourage those who go out to make smart decisions behind the wheel or plan accordingly to have someone lined up for a safe ride home. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Erick Services, your vending specialist here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Erick Services, on the air because they care.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Think you need a new furnace due to a cracked heat exchanger? Call Bryant for a free second opinion. Might save you thousands, no matter what brand. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. We do whatever it takes.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of the show on a beautiful Tuesday here in the 402. Comes to you from 1040 O Street. I'm Austin Orman. Erick Strickland to my left. You're right on the screen. We'll get the double shot back eventually here. But we're here with you 2 to 4 weekdays on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Big thanks to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for sponsoring our show. We promised that we would have some trivia for you in order to win Buffalo Wings and Rings. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give out $15 to 3 people. How about that? Spread the wealth, share the love. We enjoyed our time there on Sunday for the Super Bowl party. I hope we're back out there for March Madness. So we are giving $15 away to 3 people. The first people in with the movies that Martin Scorsese won a Golden Globe for. It's been 3 different movies that he's won a Best Director of a Motion Picture Golden Globe for. What are the 3 movies that Martin Scorsese won Best Director for? Only one answer per person. First people in with those answers will get the $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Easiest way to do that would be on our text line, brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, 402-464-5685. Right next to Sartor Heyman. So if you're looking for, engagement ring, wedding ring, anything like that, go check them out on 12th and O. Right behind him, Delco Dave's. Got to shout out Delco Dave. He came through yesterday with the sandwiches and the tacos. And I thought, hey, he brought them both on Monday. That's okay. Well, we'll enjoy ourselves today. I'll be on my own. No, Delco Dave came through 2 days in a row, Stricky. MVP.
Took care of things. Looks great. I just couldn't do it today, but that's okay. I think I'm going to take a few home, though. A couple of the tacos. Those tacos are phenomenal with the beef in it. Yeah,
they sure are. Okay, so we have one correct answer. Nebraska ball fan, send us your name. The Departed is the second movie that Scorsese won a Golden Globe for. He did not win for The Sphinx. He did not win for Pulp Fiction. He did not win, Strick, for Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're still going there. The Irishman is incorrect. So, yeah, we already have The Departed is off the list. Still looking for 2 more movies that Martin Scorsese won an Emmy for. Well, you guys think through that again. Guilt Nerd, okay, there you go. Guilt Nerd, Gangs of New York, send us your name. You are in one more movie that Scorsese won an Emmy for. His most recent Emmy win, actually. It is not Shutter Island. It is not Wolf of Wall Street. It is not The Godfather. Stricky, I'm not going to lie, not a huge Martin Scorsese guy. I haven't seen a lot of his movies. Am I missing out? Is that a problem?
I mean, I think he's a hit or miss. Like, there's some good ones, some weird ones. So it's, I'm not ultimately a, super fan. I just love good movies. I think he makes a few.
Mm-hmm.
I think he missed a few.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We are still looking for the most recent movie that Martin Scorsese has won an Emmy for. It is not Killers of the Flower Moon. He was nominated for that, but didn't end up winning. Keep getting your answers in. We are going to move on to some NFL headlines, Strick. We see this every year where the 2 teams that make the Super Bowl have a lot of key decisions to make when it comes to the players on the roster, right? I think both of these coaching staffs are in a better spot. We saw the Eagles get decimated last year, losing both of their coordinators. The Ravens were picked apart with Jim Harbaugh coming to the league, took a couple people from there. McDonald heading up to Seattle. So I think both coaching staffs are in pretty good shape. But in terms of the players, Strick, we'll start with the losing team in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey around, Purdy around, Deebo Samuel around, Trent Williams around, Fred Warner around. But a lot of interesting depth pieces up for free agency for San Francisco. The first name on the list was a guy they just traded for midseason in Chase Young. Is he a guy you think San Francisco should go after in terms of trying to retain him, or should they let him walk?
Well, part of the thing with Chase Young is that he's a sought after guy. The reason being is a lot of teams are looking for high level quality defensive ends. So he's going to be somebody that's sought after. Some are saying and considering whether or not he's in bust status. I don't think bust status. Number 2 pick in 220 draft, but there's been some inconsistency with him, and that's the thing that he needs to continuously work on. Is just showing up one night, not showing up another. So whether they sign him or not, I think they probably don't, being that they've got some looming decisions to make down the road. They could piece him with trade implications, but I don't know if the consistency's there. He's not like a Mac, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Khalil Mack type where you could sign him and know that somebody's going to want him in the trade market. I don't know if they would take him on a big re-sign salary, knowing that they've got other things to consider. But that's where it looks like for me that yes, he looks good because he came in, but then they've got potentially not as much that they would have to put out if they wanted to retain Randy Gregory.
That's another guy.
You know what I'm saying? So you probably don't have to pay Randy Gregory as much, but can still get similar. Now, Randy Gregory's probably not a 4-down guy. Not one that probably does well in the run, but could you get by with it? Possibly.
On a 1-2 year deal for a situational pass rusher?
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's the way I would look at it.
You mentioned Gregory there. Cleveland Farrell, also a free agent on the defensive line, and Javon Kinlaw, a defensive tackle. So a lot of questions for a defensive line strict that really wasn't, I think, as good as its reputation in years past, where Bosa was the guy. Armstead was okay, but not a lot of depth there. We do have our third winner, though. Scott from Bancroft got the correct answer. Hugo is the third movie that Scorsese won a Golden Globe for. So, Nebraska ball fan, guilt nerd, and Scott from Bancroft, $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings is all yours. Moving down the line here for San Francisco, Feliciano was the guard that went down during the game for them. He's a free agent. There was a clear drop-off from him and his backup, right? Chris Jones went to work on the backup later in the game. Here's an interesting one, Strick. Sam Darnold. We know the 49ers had quarterback problems 2 years ago when Purdy went out, Garoppolo was out. They were down to their third and fourth string quarterbacks in the NFC Championship game against Philadelphia. We didn't hardly see Sam Darnold at all this year. Is he a guy that you like around as a backup, or do you think you can get someone like Sam Darnold maybe for cheaper that fits your system a little better?
Well, I mean, for me, if you look at it, I think there's something more out there. I mean, Sam Darnold, I think, is a good plug, but I think there's other opportunities out there for someone to find if you don't want to pay him. But if you keep him, it's cool. I think it's just depends on what the numbers look like, right? But do you draft somebody? Could you find another a Mr. Irrelevant out there that could do what Sam Darnold does? I think this is a huge quarterback draft and the one to follow possibly. So I think there's guys out there that can land in your lap at, in the 5th round or more, that you can probably grow up and don't have to worry about having to put so much money out there. But then with injuries, do you need a good backup? I think that's a question that you need to consider as well.
Brandon Allen, their third string quarterback, also a free agent. As we run down the list of key free agents here for Kansas City and San Francisco, there are a couple more names that stood out to me. I lost the tweet. I am done. Let me click it again here. The other names that stand out to me on that
Clyde
list.
Edwards-Helaire, I mean, obviously.
Right, for the Chiefs.
Who are you looking for? Are you looking at the 49ers?
Yeah, still in the 49ers.
Okay.
There are a couple more. Sebastian Joseph Day has played a rotational role. Charlie Werner, the tight end, he took over for Kittle, really. I know Willis came in and committed the holding penalty. Werner's been a good depth piece for them. And Chris Conley was the name I was looking for. Strick didn't make a huge impact in the receiving game, had one pretty nice catch, But special teams, he laid the clothesline hit. He was down to catch that punt at the 1 or 2 yard line. That's a guy that I think we know what he can do as a receiver. He's got the frame. He's got the ball skills. But if he's going to also contribute like that on special teams, if I'm San Francisco, I try to bring him back, right?
You always look for guys that can do multiple things. And then you've got to look at how Debo pulled up and injuries. And so if he's a guy that already understands, knows your system, you're comfortable with, you can get versatility out of, it can do multiple things on the special teams as well. Yeah, those are always valuable guys. Now, sometimes they look at it at, the defensive side of things, maybe an additional safety or an additional linebacker. But he's a gunner, and gunners are, good ones are hard to find. And so, but you can find a gunner in the college market, somebody that you could sign as a free agent, so forth and so on. So it just depends on how much money he's going to require. I think his versatility is going to give him value out there for teams. There's a lot of teams out there that don't have wide receiver depth or is looking to probably have somebody to fill in a spot. I think he can do that.
I think you're right on that. Before we get into the Chiefs free agents, Troy and Lincoln on the text line, again, 402-464-5685, asks, where do you think Derrick Henry will go? That's a big one, Strick. We know what happened with the Colts and Jonathan Taylor last offseason as he held out for a new contract. Derrick Henry played his contract out in Tennessee, didn't get traded in the last year of his deal. I think there's still some miles on that a little bit of tread left on the tires, a few miles left on those legs. Derrick Henry had a heavy workload in Tennessee, though. My first thought would be a place like Minnesota would look at him, but they weren't willing to pay Dalvin Cook, so why would they pay someone else's guy? Would it be a first-year head coach up in Seattle? No, they already have Kenneth Walker. There's a fit for Derrick Henry out
Carolina?
there. Maybe.
Washington's got money.
Okay.
You're probably going to look for somebody that's got a really big salary cap that obviously you're not going to want to try to pay him Zeke Elliott type numbers. I mean, he's getting to that age now. But he still could be effective. If you want to be physical and you're looking for somebody to be physical and give you a good balance where you have a couple of running backs on your roster. Yeah, I think getting him, 18 to 22 touches a game, solid. If you got a good line and you feel like you want to have a punishing running back in there that can still get the job done, I think that's probably what a team will be looking for.
Let's play a game of yeah or boo.
Okay.
Okay, with the top cap space here. Washington Commanders, you already mentioned. Okay. Tennessee.
Boo.
New England.
I just don't know quarterback wise and line wise at this point. So boo.
Houston.
What'd you say? Boo and what?
Yeah. Boo.
Yeah.
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 Indy.
They didn't want to pay Jonathan, so I would say boo.
Cincy.
Yeah. 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 Give him somebody like that for, Joe Burrow or hopefully in a return. Yeah. I'm with it.
Now they do have T. Higgins hitting the free agent market. Do they prioritize T. Higgins or Derrick Henry? I don't know.
That's the part. Because I don't know if you want to put that kind of money into two receivers, to be honest.
Right.
That's probably where I would say boo.
Especially too, because Kansas City's secondary has looked really good the last 4 years. The rush defense has been a little suspect. If you can get Derrick Henry and exploit that and get back to the Super Bowl, that might be a way to do it. Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're emerging. I think their line's getting better. I think, to help a young quarterback. Yeah.
Detroit.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. Vegas.
Ooh, yeah. They've already kind of shown you how they feel about running backs right now. I don't think in the free agent market. I think they'll probably try to find something in the draft.
Arizona.
Boo.
Rams.
Boo.
Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
You mentioned Carolina. I mentioned Minnesota. The Giants with Saquon?
Nah.
No. Atlanta.
Bijan. Boo. Not rolling. I like Bijan. I think this versatility is is what you need, and he's physical enough. I like him.
Kansas City.
Probably not a Kansas City fit, but I could see that being something nice, a good combo with, because when it gets down to them real physical yards, Pacheco is okay, but he's not really that type of guy to get you. But when you need those real physical yards, yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I could say yeah.
Maybe my personal favorite fit on this list, Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
And that's where we'll stop the list. Philly is the last team with at least $20 million in cap space, and Derrick Henry would take up a good chunk of that $20 million, if not all of it. Other than that, you have teams that, $7 million in space with the Jets. San Francisco only has like $570,000 of wiggle room. Not happening. Seattle, no. Baltimore, interesting fit, but especially given all their running back injuries, but they don't have the money to make it work. Packers, maybe. Steelers, I think, could really use him. I don't think they have the cap space for it. 007 says the Cowboys.
Not after losing Zeke, and they're really focused on their defense and their line. Like they stay focused on their defense and their line. They really don't want to pay a big running back again. Yeah, I don't see that.
Cleveland, interesting fit, but already pretty set at running back, I would think. You have Denver.
Yeah. You got rid of Russell's money. Yeah.
Still got to wiggle a little bit. What about Jim Harbaugh going to get Derrick Henry to make a splash for the Chargers?
I think it could be needed with help out the quarterback situation down there. So I think it could be needed to have a really, really strong running game. Yeah.
Dolphins.
I don't know if their line is on point enough. Yeah, I don't think their line is there, to be honest. But okay,
I'm with you. Miami, nah.
I like Mostert for them. Still, he's a physical guy too.
A-Chain.
Like yeah, A-Chain. I like their combo. I wouldn't, disrupt that.
Buffalo.
I mean, they're looking, but they've got Diggs and they've got money issues. Yeah, I don't think they have the money to twerk it.
And then the Saints with Kamara, probably nah. We got a handful of teams.
Yeah, I think there's people out there. There's going to be suitors, trust. It's just a matter of who.
Right. Okay, Chiefs free agents now. Finding these lists from Adam Schefter. He leads his list off, Strick, with a big one, Chris Jones, who they've renegotiated with, they franchise tag. They've done a lot of stuff with Chris Jones. Are they able to get it done again this offseason, or is this the year they think you got to let him walk?
I think you got to let Chris walk, unfortunately. You got so much sewed up in the best quarterback right now in the NFL. You love what he does. You love how he's freaking a disruptor. It is an important position. But I don't know. I think they've seen their weaknesses, and they're going to try to figure out how they can shore some of that up, maybe with some young talent, with some draft talent, a couple of key pieces to figure out who to keep. And I think they can feel that they can do it. But there's a lot of people that they've got on their list. I mean, sheesh.
Do you pay Snead? You let Ward walk a few years ago.
I mean, Snead's your guy that you know is going to lock down a lot of your number ones. You let Matthew go, but he's young still. I think he's still fairly young. So I think Snead is a guy you want to look at and consider. I think he's a guy that has still great upside, and then he can also has if you want to bonus him a little bit more and feel comfortable about it. Do you feel like that could work for him? Maybe bonus him a little bit more, minimize his salary a little bit, give him a little bit more up front so you don't have as much cap hit. You can look at that option.
That makes sense to me. A couple linebackers, Drew Tranquil, who was Jay's guy, all playoffs for the Chief, and then Willie Gay, Strick. I don't think we talked about this when it happened, but right before the playoffs, Willie Gay tweeted something about, this is most likely my last ride in Arrowhead. Really appreciate the love, Chiefs fans. So maybe Willie Gay wants to stay in Kansas City, but it sounds like those discussions have already been had that they're not going to have the money to, re-sign Willie Gay.
Yeah, he's a 3-year starter. He's been there. Yeah, he's a coverage guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Handle himself in the run. Not really. That's not his mainstay, but he's a cover guy. But yeah, it's probably unfortunate that they're going to lose him.
Which means Nick Bolton and Leo Chenal are probably the starting linebackers for the Chiefs next year. The running back room, though, Strick, you mentioned Edwards-Helaire, but also Jerick McKinnon, a free agent. Do you go back and get either one of those guys, neither, both? Where do you fall?
I think if you feel Pacheco's going to be your guy, you still don't have many obligations on that. Again, and then you felt that you landed a hit on that. You think that you could probably find somebody in the late draft or the there's going to be plenty of guys that they probably feel that they can come and give backup role to him.
Mm-hmm. On the defensive line, you have Derek Nottie, Tershawn Wharton, guys that didn't play a huge role, but rotational guys. You look at, let's go to the wide receiver room next year. Really just the pass catchers, I guess, Strick. McCole Hardman caught the 52-yard pass from Mahomes, caught the touchdown to walk off the Super Bowl. You let him walk in free agency,
Facts.
The year before. You trade for him this year. I have a hard time seeing the Chiefs, giving him anything longer than another 1-year deal. Richie James, special teamer, and Blake Bell in the tight end room is a fun name, but Strick, that tight end room for the Chiefs, I think is going to look a lot different next year. I'm going to call my shot and say the Chiefs draft a tight end in the first 3 rounds this year.
I think they probably do too. I think they probably do because you're probably not going to be able to keep Kelsey on the next row, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
You probably want to try to, but it's going to be. But Kelsey, I got to say though, I got to be honest. Kelsey is very. He's a team player. He took less money to stay this time too. To make sure Mahomes got what he got. But I don't think on this next one he should be. He sacrificed in this last one. If I'm him, I wouldn't on this next one because
he's got Taylor's money.
Well, okay. But yeah, I wouldn't if I'm him. This next one, I've sacrificed. If I'm his agent, I'm going in and asking for it. And I think there are teams out there that, on a shorter time frame would probably give him a nice little chunk of money.
That's fair. Couple other interesting names. You look at James Winchester, the long snapper, who we talked about Creed Humphrey with the bad snaps, but Tommy Townsend, the punter, caught that bad snap from Winchester on Butker's 57-yard field goal. The first 2 cogs in that operation, Winchester, the long snapper, and Tommy Townsend, the punter, are free agents. Tommy Townsend's been pretty good, but Strick, I have a really hard time saying I'm going to commit 4 or 5 years to a punter, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would just give him like a 1-year rolling deal. You're good, you get it again. If we release you, you don't. But doing anything more than a couple years with a punter or a long snapper seems not worth it to me.
It's not.
So.
It's not. Yeah, there's plenty of guys that you can find out there.
The other thing that I think is definitely worth talking about here in this segment before we turn our focus to the NBA, the biggest Super Bowl telecast ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Records were broken. 123.7 million people tuned in. Some of that Taylor Swift effect, absolutely. But I think it was more than that, right? We know that the Taylor Swift draws numbers. I'm sure that helped. I think Usher's performance held people for a long time. And I think, Strick, it was 2 big enough names that people weren't necessarily sick of, right? Chiefs are a villain. People tune in to watch them. It's Mahomes. It's Kelsey. They've been there before. San Francisco, good pretty much all regular season. A blue blood NFL sort of franchise.
Yeah.
I think it was a perfect storm when you combine the game itself with a good halftime show with the Taylor Swift effect. I'm not shocked it was the largest Super Bowl on record. Are you?
Not at all. This is where you got to ask the question. Ooh, how would that have fared if it was Baltimore?
Good question.
You see what I'm saying?
Or Detroit. Either one of those 2.
That's what I'm saying. So this is why, you got to ask the question.
I do think it's interesting to note, too, the previous high was just last season. So they broke last season's record by 7%. Last year they had 115.1 million viewers. NFL continues to grow. Again, Taylor Swift, I'm sure, has something to do with that. But What a moment for the league, too, Strick. 115 million people is a lot of people, but you got 120 million people to watch just on CBS.
Yeah.
That's kind of insane that the NFL is already the biggest league in American sports, and it's still continuing to find new avenues for growth.
Well, I mean, their marketing is just a little bit better. I mean, they got to stop teetering on the verge of some of these social aspects sometimes, because this is where you could fall short and lose some things.
Mm-hmm.
Stay focused on the product that you're putting out. Don't get caught up in some foolishness, and you put a lot of fans at risk.
Mm-hmm.
But what you had is you have a dynasty brewing, a blue blood program with a lot of talent
mm-hmm.
that people are excited about, and then you have matchups. You have Mr. Irrelevant against an emerging, people are eyeing and Tom Brady-like status.
Mm-hmm.
What's he gonna do now that he's coming back from injury? He's got a chance to do it. So there's a lot of storylines. Taylor Swift, Kelsey, you know what I mean? The stuff in the family, stuff that just happened with the Mahomes family, the history of the McCaffrey family. You got just all these different storylines, man, that just as a fan, you can take your pick on. And I think that's what, like you said, it was just a perfect storm.
Not Chicken Eric also says, for the Super Bowl, it was also the first one on Nickelodeon.
Oh, because they had the Krabby Patty, the SpongeBob. Yeah, that was kind of wild watching that stuff. It was kind of crazy. And all, what's his name? The big Patrick?
Patrick, yeah.
Patrick was It was hilarious hearing them. But they had some little funny little jokes in there. So
Dora the Explorer pop up from time to time.
It was different. Yeah. It was different.
I'm not going to lie. I have a kid that's, obviously not quite that age yet, but Strick, I'm going all in with him. He's not doing any of that Nickelodeon crap. He's going straight to the real thing.
Okay. Well, good. You have the option to do that. You are daddy.
It's true. Not that it's going to help any. Yeah. I hope my kid is more athletic than I am, but hey, I guess we'll see. He's Strick. I'm Austin. Just broke down the key free agents from the Super Bowl teams and the viewership. When we get back, interesting night in the NBA last night. You had some interesting reffing decisions. The Trae Young flop, the Jalen Brunson foul call that essentially ended the game for the Knicks. You had Wemby posting a triple-double with blocks. And Stricky's got his soapbox out. I see it underneath his feet, defending the honor of John Stockton, the point guard. We'll be back to do that as we continue on the block in 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello. Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with yourself for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear that new Honda manufacturing continues to go up, and you have new Hondas in stock now.
That's correct, Charlie. We have more than 40 new Hondas in stock right now. It's great that a customer can come in and buy a new Honda and drive it home that day. New Honda inventory keeps getting better each month.
Okay, then. How about used cars, Andy?
We have more than 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from right now, and a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in daily. We have just about every maker model you can imagine in any price range.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through February 13th is spend $40 and get stew beef for free. Plus, 15% off all alcohol and chocolates as you prepare for Valentine's Day. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly cloudy skies this morning, becoming mainly sunny skies. This afternoon, we'll see a high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 30. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return. For mild weather, too, we'll see a high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Think you need a new furnace due to a cracked heat exchanger? Call Bryant for a free second opinion. Might save you thousands, no matter what brand. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. We do whatever it takes.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Mosaic is a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that embraces God's call and relentlessly pursues opportunities that empower people with diverse needs to live their best lives. Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska, serving Lincoln and Beatrice, would like to invite you to their monthly Discover the Possibilities tour events. Events are held on the third Wednesday of every month and are a great way to understand Mosaic's mission. To RSVP, please contact Melindy at 402-429-0088 or visit mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Half an hour to go here on the show. This is On the Block at 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I'm going to get out of the way and let the point guard dish on another point guard. Stricky, you think we're low on John Stockton? We're underrating him?
Well,
where are you at with that?
There's been people that over the course of time where they asked me about, certain players or, top 5 of this or that. And one of the things that I would say, like, for example, they would literally throw Stockton out and throw in Chris Paul. And I'm like, wait a minute now. In a different era, in a different style, in the different ways that you played, and we're talking strictly point guard, he was in my top 5. And when they said that, I had all kinds of people jump into the text line in the inbox. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Are you serious? What? They were blowing me away. But let me just give you a few things. So, Stockton average. He's not your typical scoring point guard. He's a point guard who can score, but just would prefer to set up guys. So let's talk about what he leads. He leads in numbers that I don't know are reachable, especially with the changes of the day and the style of play of the day and at the position today. I just don't know if they're capable of being reached. That's the assist mark that he set. John Stockton has over 15,806 assists over the course of his career. Who's next in line?
Your
guy
boy
that I played with and against, and Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd's not even close. He's over 3,000 and 800 almost, a little under 800. 3,800 under John Stockton in assists, okay?
Almost 25% less.
Two-time MVP is next with over 5,500. Steve Nash. Not even close. And these guys are retired, had good long careers. Jason Kidd, almost 20-something years, almost, right? Mark Jackson's next after that at 10,000. Magic Johnson, who considered one of the best point guards ever, 10,000. He's 5,000 less than him. And Chris Paul, who is active, and the guy that they say is, one of the best to ever do it, he hasn't even touched 10,000 yet.
Woo.
Okay? So that's that. Let's talk about assists. They talk about some of the best defenders, some of the people at the position now. You got some of them. Guess who's one of them that you were talking about? The glove, Gary Payton. He's not even close to what Stockton was in steals. Stockton, 3,265 in steals. Jason Kidd, again, second on that list. And he's, about 500 and something off?
Yeah. Almost close to 600 off.
Close to 600 off. Michael Jordan, who has won multiple defensive awards and Stockton hasn't, but he's next on third at 2,500, and the glove is under him, close to 100 in next. But here's the thing. Stockton's played 16 seasons. You understand me? 16 seasons without missing a game.
And let's not forget, these Jazz teams weren't 82 and done.
No.
That was playoff runs.
Yes. 16 without missing a season.
Woo.
Now, let's get y'all think Stricky talking crazy. You think I'm crazy. I'm just throwing numbers at you. This man on 3 occasions has had over 25, not points, assists in a game.
Whew.
Over 3 occasions.
That means he's assisting on 50 points. At least in a game.
Minimum.
Insane.
38 times he's had over 20 assists. 320 times he's had 320 times he's had over 15, and 963 times that he's had over 10 assists a game. Crazy. That's just on that level.
So here's the thing. Stockton played in 1,504 games in his career.
Only missing 22 games.
Only missed
in
22
19 years.
Which is nuts in and of itself.
That's crazy.
So 1,500 games, 15,800 assists. He averaged 10 assists per game per his career. That's crazy. You look at his steals then, he averaged essentially 2 steals per game. That's 2 free possessions a game right there. With the Iron Man legacy, with the 1,500 games, if you have a 10 assist game in 960 of them, that means 3 out of every 5 nights, that's 10 assists. That means 1 every 5 nights, you've got 15 assists.
It's crazy.
15. And that's not even on him, right? Think about that.
Guys have to make
trust,
shots
the
too.
confidence to trust your teammates to continue to pass them the ball that much. That's an incredible job by that supporting cast.
Yes, no doubt about it. And here's a stat line that'll blow your mind that happened in December 19th of 1989. And this is where I go to tell you that he can score. He's not just a guy he's not an Avery Johnson who's just really out there looking to pass the ball and may get 10 points potentially in a game. May have high assists, but he had 18 points 27 assists and 3 rebounds against the New York Knicks in December 19th of 1989. That's a crazy stat line. 27 assists? That means, look, and you getting buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Man, come on, man. They didn't even say how many steals he had in that game. So his career highs are 34 points. So that goes to show you, hey, slip up, you're going to get a bucket.
Means they were triple teaming Carl that night.
Yeah, right. So yeah, his numbers are sick, man. I mean, you know, the most 10-6 games in a regular season. He owns all but one of them, in a sense, right?
And the other one, he's tied with Isaiah. Dang.
Oops.
The next slide after that Isaiah one, Strick, is the one that stands out to me. So the 89-90 season, he had more games with 20 assists than he had games with fewer than 10.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
That ain't even right.
That ain't right.
So you talk about pure point guard, you talk about someone who can get the job done, someone who did it consistently and played D in the toughest era of D, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
John Stockton. He's in my top 5.
You've talked about Nebraska football needing a Jaden Daniels type quarterback. Nebraska basketball might need a John Stockton style point guard even worse. You mentioned the assist numbers, the steals numbers, and now that John Stockton shot a lot of threes, but he hit 38% of them. 3-and-D point guard that takes care of the ball. His assist to turnover ratio in his career, Strick, he turned it over, where are we at here? 2.8 times per game, so almost 3 turnovers a game. But compare that to 10.5 assists. A 3+1 assist to turnover ratio with
over
38% 3-point shooting. Sign me up for that in a heartbeat for Nebraska men's basketball.
In a heartbeat. I mean, I don't personally think the young fella that came from Iowa, Ulis.
Yeah.
I don't personally think Ulis is that type of guy. I think he's a solid point guard who can run the show and you have confidence in it. Playing Big Ten ball, can defend, but at the same time, I would love. But that's so traditional.
Ulis for his career is 2-1,
and everybody's so flashy today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So point guards want to score. Point guards want to be John Morant's. You know what I mean? They want to be Dame Lillard's. They don't want to be him anymore. But if you could be him, there's a place for him in today's ball.
Well, the best point guard Fred coached was Monty Morris at Iowa State, who really had to grow into shooting the basketball in the pros, but he was the ultimate caretaker of the basketball, right? Had the cerebral aspect down, got Iowa State into what they wanted to do. I'm not going to say Fred Hoiberg hasn't looked for that, but he sure hasn't gotten it, right? Deshaun Burke was not that. Alonzo Verge grew into it, but still wanted to get buckets first. Kobe Webster, score first. Jamarcus Lawrence, who they want to run the point guard right now, definitely score first. Who they're trying to work into pass first. Even Sam Griesel, solid passer, but I think he was more known for the back down to the basket game rather than the facilitating. What's it going to take for Nebraska to get that traditional point guard back? Is it they have to find that outlier in the AAU ranks that cares about passing more first, or can you grow that?
I think so. It's tough to grow. It's tough to grow. I mean, having that mentality is just an innate thing that comes with you. You know what I mean? Chucky has it. You know, Chucky's not a score first type of guy. He actually is a guy that would love to distribute. I mean, if you could have landed him, he's that type of guy that literally would just run the show and get his assist numbers. His assist numbers aren't very high. I don't think the system they run is ultimately beneficial to that. I don't even know if Nebraska system is a ultimate point guard. It's so free flow, open. But I think there's times when you need a settling presence, and that's when you want a point guard to be able to settle that down. I just don't know if their systems fit for that John Stockton type of point guard right now.
On that, when would this Nebraska team, specifically this year, benefit from having a traditional point guard? What are the situations?
As we're getting into this time right now, especially when you need to go on the road and win a game, that's when you need it. When you this is why Jamar Johnson was so valuable to us. Teron Lue, and he was that. Teron was a guy who could score, but when we were the seniors, and he understood the seniority aspect of it, but when he was called on to score, he could do that. But that's why Jamar was so settling for us, because we knew when it was in his hands, we knew he was going to get us into what we needed to and settle us in. And he wasn't going to get sped up, and he was going to run the show, and he was going to, preserve and take care of the ball. We understood that. And so that's really what they want. It's an innate thing to be able to do it, man. It's not something that comes easy.
Scrolling through the assist leaders in NCAA this season, Strick, Elijah Hawkins of Minnesota leads the country in assists per game with 7.6. Nebraska maybe could use someone like him, his style, not necessarily ball dominant, but gets things, moving. Not going to find a Tyler Kolek from Marquette. He's balling. Isaiah Stevens has the ball in his hands a lot for Colorado State. Did when they beat Creighton as well. You look at Braden Smith, a little taller for a point guard, right? More, I think, in the Greasel mold with a little bit better shooting. Then you get down to a couple Big 12 guys that I think are interesting. DeJuan Harris from Kansas and Ray J. Dennis from Baylor. Ulis, I think, is like 80% of DeJuan Harris. I don't know if he has quite the quickness. I don't know if he has quite the defensive chops, but I think they can be similar players potentially, just as I view that. But on the text line here, Strick, this one definitely for you. How many Stockton assists were from pick and roll layups? Probably most.
Probably a lot of them. And fast break. It's a great combination when you have a finisher like Karl Malone. When you're able, the pick and roll was the mainstay of the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was just so good at it. It's like didn't matter what you did to him or tried to do to him. He was just so good. And he understood it better than most. You know what I mean? But I think also, if you talk to a Magic Johnson or if you talk to those guys, they would tell you, he was a mother to handle. You know what I mean? He wasn't, because whenever I played against John Stockton, he was so strong.
When he doesn't look like he would be.
Yeah, man. John was physical, man. He was strong, and he would get up on you and set picks, and he would hit you with a shoulder, and he was physical. Like, he didn't, you just couldn't punk him. And that's what I think made him great. But he didn't do it by voice. You know what I mean? He knew how he ran his team. He ran his team with voice, but he didn't do it with talking to you and talking crap to you. He did it by just being physical and getting into you. And one thing I'll say about those, they got away with a lot. Those San Antonio, I mean, not San Antonio, but those Salt Lake, Utah Jazz teams, they got away with a lot of grabbing, a lot of holding, a lot of, getting up under you and chucking you and bumping you on cuts. And they used to do a lot. You got to get ready for ice packs when you got finished playing them.
How much of what it was the Jazz did with Stockton and Malone was Stockton and Malone's greatness? How much of it was Jerry Sloan?
Yeah, he created the system. The Utah Jazz was like this. They're going to run the exact same thing until you stop it. If they scored, it's coming right back. They score, it's coming right back. If they missed, and it had a good look, it's coming right back. Like, they would literally run the same thing until you figured it out, stopped it, or they missed on multiple occasions, and then maybe they'd switch it up. Yeah, it was one of those things. Deja vu. It was like deja vu playing them, no doubt.
Which, when you look at those teams from the outside, you played against, but I definitely want your input on this, right? You think of Stockton and Malone, like those are the two guys that make it go. As good as they are, as amazing as the numbers are that we just went through, they don't seem like the flashiest stars in NBA history. Not Showtime Lakers, not MJ, not Shaq and Kobe, not a Pistol Pete, but ruthlessly efficient is what it sounds like. Like, what was it that made those two guys and their supporting cast able to put up the 45, 50, 55 win seasons they did?
Okay. One of the teams that you used to call, one of the players, you called them big fundamentals. That's Tim Duncan.
Yep.
Okay. That was it. They were a team of sound, principle, fundamentally. Hornacek, Bill got the shot over him from Jordan. Bill,
Byron Russell.
Byron Russell, Howard Isley, who coaches now at Michigan.
You saw him, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw him at the game. Those guys across the board, Sam Mitchell. Big, he wore the goggles. God darn it. Big body. Oh, I can't remember his name right now. Then Ostertag held down the middle. Before him, Mark Eaton. You know what I mean? They had just a bunch of guys that were just solid. Not flashy. Jock Vaughn at one time was there. Not flashy, just solid guys that came in and played
Thurl
the game.
Bailey?
He was there too, but no, it wasn't him. He was on those teams that they went in 96. Let me try to look it up, but yeah, that's what they were, bro. They were just solid across the board. They weren't going to do anything flashy, like you said. Everything was going to be
okay. I got the roster for you
solid.
here.
Talk to me.
David Benoit,
solid.
Antoine Carr,
him.
Antoine Carr,
big Antoine Carr. Look up pictures of Antoine Carr. You will see what I'm saying. Big body. He looked kind of like that
big
guy.
Chunky?
Big chunky. He wore the goggles. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I see.
You see him?
I see it. Yep.
He had the Pillsbury Doughboy look to him. But yeah, they were just a bunch of guys. And then he was a shooter, light-skinned dude. Greg something. Foster.
Greg Foster. Okay.
Yeah, they just had a bunch of guys that were just solid. Yeah.
In a team that's relegated to kind of the dustbin of history because they lost to MJ.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Too bad. So sad.
So sad.
Find a way.
There's a lot of them, though. Yeah, Charles is one of them, too.
That's good stuff there. Yeah, John Stockton. Insane.
Yeah. Who are your top fives? 402-464-5685. Who are your top 5 point guards? I'd love to hear what you thought of them. But
can we get yours when we come back?
Sure.
How about that?
Yeah.
Text line, give us yours. We'll get Stricky's to wrap up the show.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years. And I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Mosaic is a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that embraces God's call and relentlessly pursues opportunities that empower people with diverse needs to live their best lives. Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska, serving Lincoln and Beatrice, would like to invite you to their monthly Discover the Possibilities tour events. Events are held on the third Wednesday of every month and are a great way to understand Mosaic's mission. To RSVP, please contact Melindy at 402-429-0088 or visit mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly cloudy skies this morning, becoming mainly sunny skies. This afternoon, we'll see a high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 30. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return. More mild weather, too. We'll see a high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I could write a commercial telling you how great waffle weekends are at the chocolate season. Or I could just have Rico read you the menu.
Banana Nutella. Nutella topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator. Buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the chocolate season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney or online at thechocolateseason.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Thursday, February 15th versus the Vegas Thrill at the Dollar Loan Center in Las Vegas. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 8 p.m. with first serve at 9. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one last time here during On the Block. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland, joined by Jay Foreman. Jay, what's up?
Evening.
Oh, we were just about to get Strick's top 5 point guards in NBA history. All right, the official, no questions asked. This is etched in stone, gospel truth, top 5 point guards. Stricky, what you got?
We're going to go from 5 down?
If you have them 5 down, do that, or just give them in no order.
Are you doing your best to the, I wouldn't say worst, but.
Yeah, I'm going 5. I'm going to start from 5 to 1. 5. Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
Isaiah Thomas, the time that he spent with the Detroit Pistons, 12-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA selection, Finals MVP, 2 championships in 89 and 90, career average of 19 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, and almost 2 steals, well, right at 2 steals a game. Unstoppable at times when he wanted to be, but ran a great show of those bad boy Pistons. He's number 5. Number 4, even though people say he's not a point guard, he's still listed as one, and that'd be Steph Curry. Steph Curry at the 4 position for me, 2-time MVP. He's an all-star regularly and 2-time all-NBA selection. And no, I think he's been more now. I think he's got more than that. Right now, he's probably the best shooter of all time, but yet in the change of the game, I still can't take that away from him. He's a PG. John Stockton at number 3.
Okay.
I've already went over that. There's nothing else to say for me. John Stockton. Now I got to go to the big O, Oscar Robinson. Oscar Robinson averaged career 25 a game at the point guard position, 7 rebounds, 9.5, shot almost 50% at the point guard position. The big O was a walking triple-double, basically.
Russ before Russ.
Russ before Russ. And then number 1, you already know who it is. The great Magic Johnson.
The
Magic Man.
The Magic Man.
He was the number 1 guy for me. 5 championships, almost 20 points a game for his career. Ended a little bit early, but he averaged 11 assists for his career. So, yeah, 50%, 52% field goal. He was a walking problem at the position.
Who was just outside your top 5? Was it maybe Tim Hardaway? I was gonna say Chris Paul. What about my man Gary Payton, the glove?
GP. So I would say number 6 for me would be like Chris Paul, because he's definitely a traditional point guard. He's great. Steve Nash.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. What about Jason Kidd too?
And then Jason Kidd. Yeah.
And that's different. I wanted to ask you that just because, Steph Curry's so much different just because he's a scoring point guard. Oscar Robinson was just a dominant force. And then back then, like John Stockton and Jason Kidd, that's when you really actually were a table setter. You're thinking even like a Mark Jackson. Those guys took pride. Even Derek Harper, they're locking you up on D. They're fine with 6 to 8, 10 points, 8 to 10 assists, and no turnovers and controlling the game. Versus now, point guards now, because everybody's so ball dominant. Where do
you put Chauncey Billups?
In that run, I think later in his career, once Chauncey was weird, not weird, but his career was weird. He came in and it was like he didn't know he was immensely talented, and
when he was at Boston, he didn't know how to use it.
Didn't know how to use him. Then he just went to Denver and the Timberwolves. It was a totally different player. So the later career Chauncey was right up there with him. He was cold-blooded, especially in Detroit. He was cold-blooded. You could even
Mr. Big Shot.
Big Shot. Yeah. I think with Chauncey, he got to play with a good kind of Batman, Robin, or whatever.
Yeah, him and Rip were a great combination.
Right. And it's just like when you talked about Isaiah Thomas. You had Joe Dumars. So that when you have 2 guys that can play so well, where, like Magic had Byron Scott and multitude of guards, Cooper and all those guys. That's why it makes him so good, because he can go and do his thing, and you got a lockdown defender in a bust down open jumper.
He could guard a 4. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he didn't have to guard the point guard.
He could guard anything you wanted. So when you push it, he got your back, and then the best thing I think for a point guard, it'd be really interesting to see is their assist to turnover ratio when they have a decent. Back when we were watching basketball, 18-foot to 3-point shot guy that could hit, because that makes you that's like your safety net, because you could get in there, and the next thing you know how it is. You kind of either, whether you're faking doubling down, or you're getting all the way down, that kick out, like you say, butt naked 3.
You gotta be able to hit it,
right? And so you got to think with John Stockton, Hornacek. you just get killed. Like, and that's all game long, just getting Steve Nash with multitude of players. Steph Curry, when he was really rolling with, when you had Livingston and Iguodala who start hitting threes, who actually probably was a good 3-point shooter when he was more open. Sean Merriman with Nash. You know what I'm saying? Even like Jason Richardson with Nash. These guys' games expanded with that point guard and the point guard game, you know, so it's really interesting to see because look, it's just like being a good quarterback. If you ain't got nobody that can't catch a cold, you ain't going to have no completion percentage. You know, so it's no different if you have guys that can really, you know, dish the ball and really see the court. I think right now, in my opinion, Strick, and you know more than me, is that the guys that used to play back when, you know, probably a little bit before you played and who, you know, we grew up watching, I feel like they saw the floor a little bit better. Because one, it was part of your DNA and it's a part of basketball. Now I think it's kind of dribble around. All right, Austin doesn't feel like playing defense. Here comes the backside lob. You get what I'm saying?
I think some of it too is though just how much, you know, quote unquote point guards, but more primary ball handlers have the ball in their hands. There's more read and react motion flow maybe back in the day, whereas now I think most guys are throwing it to spots.
Yeah.
Like they know where their corner shooters are. They know who's lifting to a wing. So they're really good at throwing it to spots, but maybe less read and react.
Yeah. And I think too is I look at it like this. You watch a lot of these guys, man, it don't take you 10 dribbles to get somewhere. Today it's like dribble, hesitation, full back, sweep behind the back, chicken wrap. You know what I mean? Crossover.
They got all these names for all these moves.
It's a bunch of moves to go nowhere, and then to go. Finally, you're just like, dang, my boy. It's like,
go ahead. Go ahead,
I'm
man.
Freaking.
Yeah.
I've been here for 10 dribbles now. Like, okay.
And the thing is, when you cross over, you know, you pound it, snatch behind the back. Eventually, you're thinking in your defensive clock, he's going to shoot it, and then you get him, and then everybody like, ooh and ah, and then you know, then these guys are skilled enough to either make it or you brick it. And that's one thing, Strick, I wanted to ask you about. This is the thing. When I talked to Fred Hoiberg, my high school coaches in college down in Georgia Southern. When I talked to basketball coaches that, you know what they're talking about, like Clem Haskins Jr. and all these guys that I, you know, just know. It's like the best way, you know, because I try to take questions that I ask to the kids I coach. So the best thing to do is be an efficient scorer within 2 or 3 dribbles. I want to ask you this, and this is the weirdest thing. Kobe Bryant, the GOAT Jordan. LeBron can as well. He can kind of pound it, but he can, when he wants to really get busy with it, he can 2-3 and get in your, you know, Steph Curry for sure. Steph Curry, what people don't understand is Steph Curry can mix you up when he has to, but generally it's very, very fundamental basketball. Same with Klay Thompson. He had that game where he only took 11 dribbles and 50-some points.
60.
Why is it that these guys that train guys preach this overabundance of dribbling and it doesn't even correlate to the highest level? And you're definitely not allowed to play like that in college just because of the rules. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't going to Kansas doing that. I watch Kansas. Yeah. You're not going to necessarily go to Duke to play like that.
Yeah.
You might get a little bit of Kentucky, but Calipari, he's trying to get you ready for the NBA, and you got 6 first-round picks. So why? I mean, you know, the guys that you see training guys, especially particularly these guys training high school kids, why aren't they training efficient basketball? Because that's actually what's going to get you paid.
See, they're I think a lot of it they're caught up on the Instagram, what they can share and show. And it's who they can get in because they're showing you that they can get you that.
Right.
Not necessarily get you what you need,
right?
But they can get you what you're excited about. They can create your mixtape.
Right, because it's crazy because I don't know if you know who Chris Brinkley is. He's the trainer for a lot of NBA players. His claim to fame was he pro bono trained Carmelo when he went to New York. And then obviously he's training everybody. He's training Carmelo's son. They do this midnight run thing in New York, you know, looks like at a Lifetime, and they do LeBron go, you know, guys go, KD goes. That's what he does. You never see. I mean, now they got to get in there. You got to do that,
Yeah,
right?
sometimes you got to get in your bag.
You got to. But I always wondered about that. I always wanted to ask you that just because I saw this tape or video of Bradley Beal that was working out before the game. And there's, how they have team kind of skilled guys. And he went like 85 minutes. Bradley Beal was like, nah, get out of the way. I ain't doing all that. I'm going to get to this spot. So he went one hard crossover between the legs, pull up.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers like, hey, man, I don't need, because I think he got confused. Because, we're in the NBA, you ain't got a lot of time to be up there, in and out dribble, behind the back, shoulder shake. That only work, 1, 2, 3 times a game?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The defenders aren't as
they don't really care about defense.
It's not as adept as they would. Like, I wouldn't even be reaching. I just let you play, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not biting on all that stuff. That's what happens. Guys are reaching and trying to do all that. No, just dribble, stay there. Okay, shoot. I'm just gonna challenge.
Right. Yeah.
If you make it, good. Go back down. But you did all that. You did all that work for nothing.
Yeah. I always wanted to ask you about that.
A lot of interesting thoughts from the text line. Someone says Mark Price. Someone says Bob Cousy. Someone says Kyrie.
Cousy's in there, top 10 for sure.
We have 2 top 5s: Mo Cheeks, Magic Johnson, Doc Rivers, Dennis Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, and then Stockton, Magic, Kidd, Nash, and Tony Parker in the top 5. We're out of time, unfortunately. Been a good show. Posted Strick's top 5. Go interact with that at On the Block 93.7. Strick, when will we be back?
I'll be on remotely. But I won't,
But we back mañana? Mañana? Till then.
I could write a commercial telling you how great waffle weekends are at the chocolate season. Or I could just have Rico read you the menu.
Banana Nutella. Nutella topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator. Buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the chocolate season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney or online at thechocolateseason.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly cloudy skies this morning, becoming mainly sunny skies. This afternoon, we'll see a high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 30. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return, or mild weather too. We'll see a high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals. Located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Plains Cover Crop is your one